Raising children is one of the most challenging tasks in the world, mainly around the age of 3, which is when the tantrums start. This mother named Soraia thought she had seen it all, even because she already had 2 other children. But one day her youngest daughter was really trying her patience. So she ended up doing something she never even imagined she would do, and if you have ever been in a car with young children, then you know how exhausting it can be. They scream and cry, they throw toys and food. They give a little bit of work, especially if there are other children in the car. Soraia, every time she traveled with her children in the car, she had to endure these kinds of situations, and it makes a woman constantly stressed and anxious. One day she decided that she had enough of it all because it just happened every time they left the house. On that specific day, her daughter was really out of control in a way she had never seen, and when Soraia realized what she was doing in the backseat of the car, she simply had no choice but to call the police. The little girl never listened to her parents, always doing the opposite of what they asked her to do. Everyone told her that this would change in time, but months passed, years passed, and nothing happened. Instead, the girl was getting more and more out of control. As always, every morning, Soraia put her children in the back seat of the car to take them to school, but she did not know what was going to happen while she was driving. She did not hear any noise of the children arguing in the back seat of the car or shouting, but as this happened several times, she was already used to this situation. At first, the noise started and Soraia didn't care because it was something that always happened, and she just stood there hoping that they would calm down soon. Or they would be sad about something else. But Soraia noticed that the screaming and noise didn't stop. When she looked in the rearview mirror, one of the children shouted that the youngest had taken off his seatbelt, and Soraia immediately got into the car to attend Rayla, the youngest, 3 years old, and put her back in the seat with the seatbelt on. She explained to her that it was dangerous to ride in a car without it and that bad things could happen, and politely asked the child not to do it again. But she didn't. She wanted to let her know that she wasn't just taking the seatbelt. She wanted to let her know that she just wasn't taking her mother seriously, that she was actually laughing and ignoring all her mother's words. And every time her mother would put on her seatbelt, she would immediately take it off and laugh at the situation. She really got very nervous until the anger once again crossed the line, kicking her mother and saying that she was not going to put on a belt, that she will not obey. She got so angry that she just slammed the car door and came home, and no one would go to school that day. All the children were grounded, and at that point she realized she desperately needed help, so she picked up the phone and called the police number. Soraia told the assistant that she could no longer handle her 3-year-old daughter, and she hoped that they would take her request seriously and help deal with the situation. However, the reaction of the police was completely different from what Soraia expected. Fortunately, the police did not take long to arrive. When they arrived at the door and asked to speak to Soraia, she was worried that they would not take the request seriously. Soraia opened the door and she greeted the police there, and they asked to speak. The policemen were speechless after seeing that she was just a child. They also knelt down next to Rayla and said that they would like to have a quick conversation with her, but a very serious conversation. The policeman wanted her to understand how dangerous it is to be in a car without a seatbelt, and that the worst could happen, and that her mother needed to be attentive of the traffic. The little girl listened attentively to everything the police told her at this time without screaming. There are no days without kicks, and she was really terrified. Rayla turned to her mother and apologized for making the mistake and said she would never disobey her mother again. Many people think that her mother took the situation to the extreme. However, at the time, she believed that calling the police on her daughter was the only way to realize her mistake, because the child understood that police officers were serious and important people. Thank you for listening to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click on the bell so you do not miss any new videos. All the best to you.